G'day all, it's Colin from PCTLC and thanks for joining me. In this video I'm going to be installing LinuxFx, and as we can see it's looks completely like Windows 10 probably you'd say, bit of a mix Windows 10, Windows 7. It's got a light bar across the bottom. Let's do the install, and it looks like it's using the Calamares installer. So it's complaining that it's not plugged into a power source, so I've just plugged the power in. American English, yep. We'll pick Australia Perth. English Australian, default, yes. We're going to do manual partitioning. Now I've got this one here, I'm going to edit that. It's got boot there, so I'm pretty sure if that's got boot should be fine. Boot EFI. So hopefully Calamares doesn't complain. I'm pretty sure if it's got that boot there it should be fine. It might be missing the ESP, I'm not sure. We'll soon find out, I suppose. This one will be format, it'll be mount point root and OK. And this is just the data drive, so I've got nothing on there. So I'll format that, no mount point, OK. Let's go next. Okay, that's my real name, username, computer name for the home network, and my passwords. I'm not going to log in automatically. And pretty much that's what it's going to do here. So I did have OpenSUSE on here. I was trying that out. Didn't get very far with that, to be honest, just testing a little bit here and there. It's just following Linux user space a bit. This is probably a bit too late on that one. So let's install that. Install now. So no complaints so far, that's good. Okay, that's the install complete. We shall restart the laptop and see what's going on with LinuxFx. So here we are in the installed desktop of LinuxFx. Now I don't know if LinuxFx has an identity problem or something, but I see some of the branding of Windows FX, and also the ISO is called LinuxFX, but I did definitely seen some branding for Windows FX also on the login screen. So I might just install this in VirtualBox just so I can show you the login screen. Yeah, let's have a look at that. This is what you're greeted with when you first start up, which is the layout and display layout and settings. It's the very first thing that's popped up on the after the install, and also on the live disk is the same. So I'm just going to close that because my settings are fine. I've only got one screen on this one. So now we've got this little animation here. And it's called LinuxFx down here and products. So let's go next.
Hi, I'm Hello, your personal assistant. I was created to help you with the first steps. The first thing we should do is check for driver and system updates. Alright, so I think Cortana has a sexier voice. Yep, that's a bit robotic, isn't it? But still it's there, it's working. So let's just check for drivers and updates first. Let's click on that link there, and it'll take us to the Ubuntu additional drivers screen. So I do have an NVIDIA on this, which is the right one to install. Not really sure. Normally it's the 390 for this one, but it may work with the latest. I don't know. So I won't install that right now, but you can see where it takes you.
So that's the software and updates, which is the Ubuntu software and updates. So that's that. It's a live patch there as well.
After installing the drivers for your system, how about we check the monitor settings?
No, my monitor settings are real good. They're good, thanks. Configure resolution and monitor. Let's just go through this anyway. So I've seen that. Let's close that.
Let's check the network and internet now.
Let's check network. Yep, that's all good.
You have already set up the basics. The system is ready for use. If you need me, just click on my icon on the taskbar. Thank you.
Just click on the icon on the taskbar, eh? Start using Windows FX. So there's the reference to Windows FX again. Necessary to restart the system. Okay, that was a little bit annoying. I thought it was just giving me information that I should restart the system, but I clicked the OK button and it just bang. It was gone. It was restarting straight away. I didn't expect that to happen at all, but anyway, there's our assistant button there, I think. That's our assistant? Yeah, let's exit that. They really need Cortana, I think. So what have we got here? So we've got a little apps and features, energy options. So we've got disk management. What would that be? G-parted? Yes, it is G-parted. And we have, what do we have in here? Let's have a quick look at what's in this system first. Accessories, anti-micro, what is that? No joysticks. Okay, so for joysticks, fair enough. So they've got Berliner Etcher, Midnight Commander, it's always handy. Although you don't really need Midnight Commander on the Cinnamon desktop because you've got Open as root. Must be a reason why it's there. Text editor, Visual Studio Code, Wine Tricks. Games, we have Steam. Pretty standard stuff there. AnyDesk. Now I've seen that down here as well, AnyDesk. Don't know what that is. Alright, nothing's happening, maybe because it's running already down here in the system tray. Right click. New connection. What's that do? So that is like a team viewer type remote desktop. Citrix receiver, I don't know what that is either. Well, let's just accept that and see what it is. I don't know, it doesn't seem to be doing anything anyway. Microsoft Teams preview, what's that all about? Microsoft Teams, okay. Citrix receiver, enter your work email or server address provided by your IT department. Is that some sort of Microsoft Exchange or something like that? Don't really know. Interesting. So you've got Skype, Steam, TeamViewer there. So you've got TeamViewer and the AnyDesk as well. Telegram, Transmission, Verizon, VMware Horizon Client, and Zoom. So they've got a few apps there that I would probably install. Excel, PowerPoint, Word. So they're using only Office. Evolution for email client. Visual Studio Code. So they've got Kodi. Rhythmbox, simple screen recorder out of the box as well, and VLC media player. Magnus, I don't know what Magnus is. Is that a, oh, that's that, a little bit like the Mate one, is it? That's the one from the Mate, is it Magnus? Is that what it's called? I cannot remember right now. Escapes me, but they've got something, they've got an app very similar to that. Time Shift, Windows FX Device Manager, Woe USB, create Windows USB stick installer. So that's what Woe USB is for. Windows FX Device Manager. Well, there you go. Look at that. That is what's that called? Hard info. Yep, that's hard info there. So operating system Windows FX. Well, I'll say one thing, they've done an amazing job at making this look exactly like Windows, that's for sure. So we were on administration, so HTOP, they got HTOP in here as well. Let's have a look at what it's using. 1.26 gigs of 8 gig of RAM. CPUs are a little bit high there. I mean, some systems I see around about, almost. Although I will say when I'm not running anything, this was showing 0%. That was on the live disk though. So I'm not sure about here. And I am recording, which I always forget to say. So that's probably not too bad anyway, I'd say. So they've got Synaptic Package Manager, System Monitor, Software Updater, Software. So let's see what their software is. About software, that's GNOME software. So what do they have installed here? Let's check it out. Do a search for Telegram. So Telegram CLI, is that a snap? That is a snap. Any more Telegrams? Telegram Desktop, what's that one? That's a snap as well. That would be a snap. Yep. So I don't see anything from the Ubuntu repositories there. But that's no surprises there though, because normally the snaps are at the forefront of the software these days. So I'm just wondering if there's anything else besides Snap, whether they had Flatpak. It looks like they're following the Ubuntu packages, which is pretty much the repos if you can find them, and also the snaps. So that's taken quite a long time to search. They do have Synaptic Package Manager in here as well, under admin I think it was. Synaptic Package Manager. We may not be able to use that if that's open, so let's close that. And that's your Synaptic Package Manager. And if it was to do a search there, do a search for Telegram and see what that comes up with. Telegram. So the Telegram that's installed is actually the one from the Ubuntu repos. So there we go. So and then you got the option of snaps if you want it. Preferences, that would be the Cinnamon preferences. So that's pretty much standard Cinnamon stuff there. And places, pretty much standard Cinnamon stuff there as well, I would have to say. Terminal, software files, and system settings control. So you've got basic control panel, like so. And then you've got this one here. Accounts. Go back. Update and security. Okay, so geez, look at that. It couldn't be any more similar to Windows 10, to be honest. This system, they have gone over and above to make this system look so much like Windows. It's the similarities are just outstanding. Network and internet. System. That is just incredible, the job they've done there. Ease of access. Configure visual, configure keyboard. Do they have a .exe and .msi compatibility? Okay, so they got, what do you want to do? Okay, so can install extra libraries for better functioning of my Microsoft Windows apps. This option will automatically install some tools and libraries from Microsoft environment on the system so that you can run most apps on the MS Windows platform. Okay. Applications. All installed apps. Games. Devices. Privacy. Customization. So, I'll tell you what, I'm just blown away at how much this looks like Windows 10. It's just incredible, the job they've done on this. That's just unbelievable. Change background. Wallpapers while we're here. Just have a quick look. Windows 10. No, it's a WinTux. Oh yeah, it's got the Tux logo there. A few different Windows wallpapers there as well. Computer, file system. Incredible. So what we do have also is we have, let's just open a couple of things here. Calculator, mouse pad, and then we click on this one here, and that gives you the, I think it's called the Expo. I think it's called the Expo, this one here. So you can move things from Windows, different workspaces on here, like so. And by default, it's got 4 different workspaces. You can add if you wish. And then it shows you probably the one that's open, I would say. That's what it's doing there till you hover your mouse on there. So we can just click on that one and go back to the desktop. We have our percentage usage there and also system monitor. So there's our system monitor there, 1.7 gig, close to what HTOP was saying. And the CPUs are roughly about the same as what HTOP was saying as well. So fairly accurate readings there for the system usage. Got your calendar, date and time settings, battery monitor, sound, you got your sound settings, the normal cinnamon sound settings there, and you got some weather. So that's automatically set up Perth already. Didn't even have to do that myself. And interesting, they've got Google Chrome out of the box. So they've got Firefox and Google Chrome. Very interesting. And then they've got one down here called Google. So I can only assume that if you did a Google search, let's do a search for LinuxFx. Enter that and see what happens. Can only assume that will open up in Google Chrome. And it done a search for LinuxFx, so you can search directly from the desktop from here. So that's pretty handy. That's probably why they've got the Google web browser in there for that reason. Now, I cannot remember if Windows 10 does that. Probably does. Hang up or exit. Desktop. Task Manager. That's the system monitor. Apps and features. Okay, so all installed apps. So they haven't spelt installed correctly, so that probably needs to be fixed. And then you got this this complete jargon here that no one would really understand. So you've made all this effort, and then you've got this one here. You're probably better off not even to show this one. Add or remove. What does that do? So you've gone to all this trouble to make everything look so nice, and then you got this complete amount of jargon here, which is all, looks like all the dependencies and everything. So the add or remove opens a Synaptic Package Manager, okay. And that brings us back to the settings there. System, network connection, disk management, computer management. Thanks for using dconf editor. Oh, okay, I'll be careful. That's computer management, right. Windows FX PowerShell. To run a command as administrator user, root, use sudo. Okay, so that's not really a PowerShell, is it? Well, I suppose it is because you're using sudo straight off. Then we've got log out, lock screen, quit. So what are they using? About. Let's have a look at that. Menu, Cinnamon. So they're just using the standard Cinnamon menu for that. And what's this one here? About. FX Launcher. So that's something that they've produced by the looks of it. Right click, open as root, customize, change desktop background, create new launcher here, create empty document, shortcut to home, file system, and let's open up something here. And by default, you've got a hover window there, and you've got that minimizes your screen or your window. This one here is the removable drives. They've got system tray, running apps in here as well, Bluetooth. So that's just a quick look around LinuxFx. Now, I might just give my opinion here on this one. I don't normally give an opinion too much on my channel. I just like to look around. What I'll say is, it looks really nice and it looks very genuine in regards to looking like Windows itself to make people feel at home. Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? This is the problem I see. If I was to install this on someone's computer and say, here's Linux, start using it, and these things look 100 or 99% familiar with Windows, I would have to think that what they're going to start doing is using it exactly like Windows. Now, whether that's a good or bad thing, because they've got Wine installed in here, so they've got Wine tricks. So they might start downloading .exes and things like that, whereas it's probably really not necessary unless you really need the .exes out of desperation. Otherwise, you use the apps that comes with, for starters, the Office here is only Office. I can't remember how compatible that is with Microsoft Office. I'm not sure. Yeah, that could be a bit of a trap for people just looking way too familiar. That would be a problem. If they've been exposed to Linux with a different looking desktop than Windows itself first, and then they was to use this, I would think they would probably feel comfortable. Don't know about this thing here. Yeah, it sounds a bit weird. But they've implemented it pretty well. It does talk to you. You can understand it, no problem. Linux users just need to know Linux first, I think, before they start using this. Although they have set it up pretty well. But I can just see people are going to be possibly installing things that they probably shouldn't have to be. So they might just start looking for .exes straight off the bat on the internet, installing them. Wine's going to handle that installation for them and so forth. Whereas there's an alternative to what they're installing already in the software that they're not familiar with. That could be a thing that happens there. I think they've done an amazing job to make it look that compatible. Not sure if that's a copyright issue or anything like that. I'd have to say hats off to them for the work that they've done to make it look so much like Windows. And they're using the Cinnamon desktop. And I've always said Cinnamon has that same flow as Windows does. So it's based on Debian and Mint. Comes from Brazil. 64-bit only by the looks of it. And that's interesting. It says desktop KDE. KDE, it's interesting. So it says desktop KDE, but here it says LinuxFx is a Brazilian Linux distribution based on Ubuntu. It ships with an intuitive Cinnamon desktop user interface designed to facilitate migration of users from Windows. It includes a video management system called Sentinella, a computer vision software with video analytics and software for access control, facial recognition and automatic number plate recognition. This version is based on Ubuntu 20.04. The latest stable version of the project's Ubuntu-based distribution with a look and feel that emulates Windows 10. So they say that straight out of the box, so that's fair enough. It would probably have its use cases, but I don't think for new users straight out of the box, I'm not really sure. But I think it would probably confuse a few new users to jump on here and see things look so familiar. They'd probably get so excited that this is, something you can download for free and you can use. And then I think after a bit of time, I probably believe that frustration would probably kick in because they just don't know how Linux works under the hood, so to speak. That could be an issue. That's all I'm saying. I'm not taking away anything from the amazing job that these guys have done in regards to the aesthetics of this system that they've got here. So that was LinuxFx or Windows FX, depending which brand name you're looking at within the system. Mainly, it seems to be throughout the system, it's Windows FX. That was a bit of a install and look around. So I hope you enjoyed the video, hope you found it interesting and informative, and thanks for watching.